All right. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's our second semi-final for PiGFest 5. It's a $10,000 tournament, and this young man has played a lot of Protoss in this tournament, but he's back on the main race playing Terran against a player that he has said is very difficult to play against because he hides information. So Team Liquid's Clem in the top right, his opponent in the bottom left side of the map, of course. It's none other than Weibo Gaming's Hero. And Hero has been a monster recently. I mean, he has gone from, I feel like, last year up until EWC, Hero was looking good in every big tournament, every series, and then he would just kind of do crazy stuff and throw too many games away and let advantages slip and make weird, crazy mistakes. And the number of times he was like up versus Maru and tried to make carriers and got in big trouble and weird things happened. It's happened too much. And somehow, in the last few months with this patch, the energy recharge not feeling as turtly, the battery overcharge just did not match his style that well, whereas energy overcharge or energy recharge definitely does. He has found a new lease on life. The maps are also a fair bit, I would say, not as good for Terran, whereas the previous map pool was very good for Terran. And I think he's feeling a lot better with it. He's got a lot of variety of builds, and he's going to open up this one with a very early 3-gate. So it's a gate expand back home, goes for the early adept, and he's going to start rallying some units out of the front as well. Usually you do build a third gateway with this build, but since that second gate's so early, he could just do 2-gate. He might just do 2-gate into a somewhat delayed twice. He's only on 1 gas. Oh, wow. Can he afford this off 1 gas, guys? Whoa, guys, is this the old parting build? Guys, is he doing the parting twister? Oh my god. Oh my lord. I haven't seen this in a long time, ladies and gentlemen. This is insane. I don't think he did the 17 Nexus. I don't think he did the 17 Nexus, though. I wasn't paying attention. Parting used to do this with 17 Nexus, but still, it's the same thing. It's a 1-gas 3-gate rush that hits with 5 adepts, or 6 adepts even, so early. You are meant to double chrono the Cybercore, and yeah, he's double chronoing the Cybercore! Guys, remember this build. So for those who don't remember, Online World Championship 2021, Parting did this build 14 times in a row. Literally destroyed, was it Innovation? And then he played TY and we go like, oh, I guess we'll see the answer to this now that TY knows what build he's doing. And he does it every game and beats TY as well. We're like, what is happening? It is such a fast rush. And because Terran doesn't know that second gas is missing, it's so rare for Protoss to skip the second gas. Yes, he takes it now, but it's very delayed. 4 adepts are already out on this map. He's going to try and harass in there with 1. Hellion on the right side, Reaper on that side, trying to push this back. And he's going to be like, how are there so many adepts on this map? How is there 1 fighting the Hellion and 1 over there as well? That adept doesn't even slow down. This one walking to the bunker. Hero, you can't be this sloppy, mate. Hero, oh gosh, he walks into the bunker, throws the first adept away. Can't say that was the best start to this push, but the 3 adepts coming in behind it. Hellion's there. He's got nothing at home. He just warped in. Uh-oh. Hopefully he can warp in at home soon. Otherwise, that Hellion's going to do big damage. Shade gets blocked by the wall off. Clem handling things very well. Clem, the master of handling surprises. Hellion only gets 1 probe, though. Lots of lost mining time going down. You can transition into a normal macro build behind this. And meanwhile, you just have to be so safe as Clem. You cannot fight these adepts. You absolutely cannot fight these adepts. That can be very, very problematic. The adepts, they're going to try and shade up forwards. We've got the medevac coming down, 2 Widow Mines as well. Adepts trying to shade up into that main base. He's going to commit. Of course, he's going to commit. The Widow Mine, does he focus it? Yes, he does. The adept's kind of in a nice little choke point, which is funny. And you can see that the Mules, the SCVs trying to fight the Marine and the Reaper helping. So much damage going down. And this is something which Clem just cannot stop. I remember the answer to this was a fast bunker and getting a siege tank up really early and just never letting him up your main ramp. You cannot let them up your main ramp, and that was the big mistake for Clem, which has cost him a total of 10 SCVs, a Hellion, 3 Marines, and a Widow Mine. He's going to go for a desperate 4 Marine, 1 Reaper counterattack, realizing, okay, I think he's done with the biggest, scariest part of the aggression. But of course, Stalkers can warp in at home. Adepts shade in, get an SCV. Widow Mine does take out one of them. The Adepts will counter by taking care of the Widow Mine, though. And going to kill a few SCVs before they shade out, so very good micro. The Marine Reaper drop's about to go in. These Adepts, though, not shading to safety. I mean, Hero right now has 1 speed, he has 1 gear, and that is attack, attack, attack. He even attacked his own gateway there for a moment, the Mad Dog. This Marine drop loses a single Marine. Link's only about halfway done, and the drop is just going to have to hide there. Still an Adept out, skirmishing with these Marines. 1 Marine goes down, but the Adepts have fallen. The early Twister here from Hero, a great build choice, and this is what I've loved about this tournament, giving the players a bit longer to prepare for these matches. has resulted in some really cool gambly early games. And my man, Clem, he just got woken up viciously there by Hero. Very nice way to start the series. All right, that was a sick way to open up game one. Hero, it was the 17 Nexus, by the way. The old parting build order from 2021. And, you know, it's such a fun build order. Very cool style. Clem in the top right side. You don't want to be building Widow Mines. You don't want to be counterattacking against that. So I'm trying to remember what the counter to that build is, guys. Basically, it boils down to Protoss, where everyone is so used to playing against Protoss taking 2 gases and being very tech-focused. When a Protoss doesn't do that and focuses purely on building economy and army very quickly, it's like playing against, like, a 3-Rax from a Terran. Or a Zerg who's kind of, like, ling-flooding you, but then droning really hard behind it. Like, it's a very different flow to what playing against Protoss normally is. So you need to just lock yourself down completely solid as early as possible. Most people go for an incredibly early tank to shut it down and an early bunker. And basically the early bunker and tank are what shut it down. I believe Parting first did it in a time when people weren't building bunkers, and it was especially powerful because if you didn't have a bunker up, man, it was obviously just, there's no way you were ever securing that natural. If you tried to, you'd just lose the game. But a good way to start off with some aggression. Hero starts the Zealot, sees no eBay block, cancels it, and starts the Nexus. And it's a double gas Reaper opening for Clem. No surprises there, as Clem is a big fan of the double gas, rushing the tech out as quickly as possible. Man, what a vicious way to get wrecked in game one. Clem did request starting in the second series today. We told him he already actually was lined up to be in the second series because he said 10 a.m. was too early a start for him in his local time zone. So it's midday the time this series has started. 12:17 right now over there in France. And he still looks a little sleepy. Not going to be able to afford that. It is right now 8:17 p.m. for Hero. Kind of peak kind of mid-morning gamer hours. And you might think 8 p.m. mid-morning. Koreans pretty used to competing until about 6, 7, 8 a.m. over the last 4 or 5 years especially. But even back when they were competing in GSL, they'd usually have reasonably late sleep schedules. If you're going to be competing at prime time, you want that to be kind of similar to your mid-morning. You don't want that to be the second half of the day when your energy levels are starting to wane. Starport going down there, as well as a command center on the high ground. Looks like a depot behind the mineral line. Nicely timed. And the Reaper finally finds Hero's probe. Adept's coming forward. It's a Twilight Council behind this. Nothing too special for Hero in this game. I do wonder if we're going to see a Psystorm opening. Not this map, maybe in the next. Medevac started up. Cyclone halfway done as well. Marines are building. The blink. Do we get that chrono? Yeah. Oh, wait. Why is he chronoing Warp Gate, guys? What's that for? Is that specifically because he knows there might be a drop and he wants to just warp in his next 2 Stalkers a little bit early? Interesting. So he's got one Stalker, 2 Adepts. And he realizes Clem loves these early drop builds. And in this case, it's even a tank push. Oh, Clem's going hard with a tank push. He's going to build a second tank and then a Viking. Ooh, very aggressive build order. It's the Cyclone into fast tank push. This build's especially powerful in these maps with a tight ramp. But there is a battery here. There's a Robo on the way. Units are warping in. Or 1 Stalker warps in. He needs to warp in another. But he has no idea that this is coming. Cyclone's done a really good job of cleaning things up, pushing the Adept back for now. Adept goes forward. He does not know about this tank that's on the way. And Clem hiding his build, disguising his intentions. Clem playing an insanely aggressive build. Adept goes out, gets only 1 hit off on a Marine before it goes down. Blink is not quite ready. Hero needs to build an Immortal. He realizes what's happening. He starts the Immortal. Clem, is this a bit too derivative from him? Doing a build order that he's done so many times recently. Hot pick up on the Marine, though. He's only lost 1 Reaper so far. The Marine did get saved by dodging those projectiles mid-blast. Beautiful micro so far. Clem tries to do the lock-on, but he pulled back a bit too early. Didn't have the medevac there for the high ground vision. Keeps trying to lock on, but he keeps breaking his own vision with that Cyclone. He's very worried about Hero picking off any of these units before the fight starts. Adept trying to come forward. You do not want that Adept to drag friendly fire into your own units. He's going to try to do it, but no, it's not able to. The Adept goes down. The Stalker's getting pushed back. Immortal is not out just yet. My gosh, they take so long to build. It does land a hit on the Cyclone, blinking the Stalkers forward to take care of the tanks. A lot of units go down. Battery overcharge goes down on the shield battery. Oh, the tank barely doesn't die. And that is going to be potentially a very quick, brutal fight back. We always talk about this in competition. If someone rushes you, gets you, Nothing feels better than immediately rushing them back and getting a point on the board. They punch you, you punch them right back. You have to show them you're no pushover, and that is how Clem plays StarCraft. He says, oh, you can rush me? I can rush you too, buddy. And that's going to give us a very interesting start to the series, because at this point, Hero's taken so much damage. His Robo's depowered. Stalkers cannot fight into this second siege tank. And now with the Liberator arriving as well, it's a disaster. Hero, you can see the look on his face. There was that kind of twist up of his mouth to the side that, felt like he should have been maybe a little more prepared for that build. This map is one of the few maps where Clem was likely to do that sort of push, specifically because of this tight ramp. All right, guys. It's El Dorado here. Tied up 1-1. Liquid Clem on the left side of the map. Weibo gave his hero on the bottom right. And I got to say, I'm a little worried for Clem. And the reason is, don't get me wrong, Clem's not a simple guy. He's not a stupid guy. But on this map, he is predictable. He almost always does the exact same build. He will go double gas after barracks, rush factory, rush starport, doesn't pull off gas at all, delays his command center until about 3 minutes, and he boosts a medevac with 6 Marines across incredibly early. Now, if you rush a Stargate off, say, 19 Nexus 19 core, or off a double gas before a Nexus opening, and you rush Phoenix out, you will shut it down. Zaun didn't super rush his Phoenix against this when they played in the group stage, and he still got in a really good position. I think it was it Zaun? It was... Maybe it wasn't Zaun. It was MaxPax, actually. No, I'm thinking of the last match. MaxPax got in a great position with the Phoenix opening against it, right? Even though he still lost 5 probes, but he was still in a good spot after that. And Clem had to do kind of like a desperate all-in to try and get it into the game after that stage. So I do... Well, he's already not doing the double gas. Good preparation. I think for Clem, if he were to do that, I would have been highly critical. I think it would have been basically betting on Hero not knowing how to counter a build that you've spammed way too much. I am very glad that Clem is playing flexible StarCraft. And I think when we see a lot of weekly cups, a lot of these small weekly cups, players don't plan. They just do whatever their favorite build is on a map. They just do the thing they've been doing. There's not a lot of thinking. There's not a lot of planning. It feels to me like Clem has said, you know what? Let's not be too predictable. He goes command center before Marine so that the command center finishes as quickly as possible. This means if there's an early adept, he can finish the command center and lift it quicker and then just defend on the high ground. It also means he can go very quick factory here because he's not building a Reaper, which saves him 50 minerals and 50 gas. Could he have just got Blink in time before the first medevac arrived if he did that build? Absolutely not. He arrives at like 410. It's a very early drop. It's a very, very early drop. Blink's very bad against it. Phoenix is the best against it, but both can work. What MaxPax did that was so special against that build as well, and Clem talked about it in his interview, is he shaded Adepts into the natural while defending the drop and killed a few SCVs and really put Clem in the dark. So Clem does that drop so early, he doesn't even have any units that aren't loaded into the medevac. So if the Adepts come in as the medevac's leaving at about 345, kind of screws his whole build up. So Clem changing to a 1-Rax expand. It's going Marines and Hellions now. That reactor finished. You can see here, returns those 5 minerals. 150 minerals, starts the orbital. Did he cancel the Hellion? He canceled the Hellion to afford the orbital, focusing more on economy this time. You can see he's really focusing on the long term. Not so focused on rushing his opponent or anything like that. Now he restarts the Hellion a little bit later. Economic focus for Clem. Hero, just 1 gate. Twilight. Second gate's pretty late, I gotta say. It's 3 minutes. No second gate or Robo started, and Hero just starting to mine these minerals out so we can expand to the south side. Second gate goes down at 3 minutes 20. Robo as well. Very straightforward opening here for Hero. I do think Hero shouldn't be too paranoid about that tank push, even though this is another tight ramp where you could get hit by the same tank push. Clem's not the type to do the same build order twice in a row. If there's one thing that's kind of predictable about Clem is, number one, he's unlikely to ever really do 2 crazy aggressive builds in a row, but especially if it's something like that tank push, I think you can basically just exclude that as an option. He's still got a pretty quick 6 Marine, 1 mine drop moving out. But of course, we'll find a pylon. Hero just cancels it, gets 75 of the 100 minerals returned. It's not too bad. Always a 3/4 refund cost for anything that gets cancelled in StarCraft. Third gateway coming up as well. Blink not quite ready. You can see here with this later version of the drop off of a 1-Rax expand. still arrives pretty darn quickly. Hellion drives in, Marines unloading, Widowmine's going to be there as well. These Stalkers in the main, way out of position. Hero getting completely tricked here, loses 4 probes, walks a Stalker into the Widowmine. Hero making some basic mistakes here. He loses another probe. That's 6 probes going down. Clem, I mean, don't get me wrong, guys. Remember, he skipped the Reaper, which is why he's able to hit this drop so early. But this feels like an unreasonable amount of damage. I mean, there was a lot of Stalkers ready. Blink is now ready as well. But 7 workers damage against the 2-base Protoss. Hero dropping the ball there. It's moments like that where we kind of go, Hero, that is the stuff. You should not be making those mistakes. And it's unfortunate because it comes with the mixed bag that is Hero. If you're a Hero fan, you will see some of the best play from behind that you've ever seen in the entire world. But you'll also see him in a more standard game or a game where he's ahead just make these sort of baffling positional mistakes. Moving his Stalkers all the way down here to the corner. And the medevac just changing direction to go back and land there. He should have kept his unit split. Very sloppy and very lazy defense for Hero. He's going to regret it. He's now playing from behind, but he will take the gold base to try and recover. Some would say, well, he's just powering up. Now he gets to play from behind. He gets to show us that play. Problem is, when you're playing Clem, you don't get to make many comebacks. Now, keep in mind, some of you probably saw the Monday Night Weekly 2 weeks ago, I think it was, where Hero threw away like 16 Blink Stalkers and a Warp Prism for like 4 SCV kills. And we were like, well, this game's over. And then he proceeded to win only 5 minutes later. You know, he caught a double drop from Clem, jumped on a counter attack on a base with Zealots, caught another army with an ambush, and suddenly he won this game where he was completely dead in the water. So he can do it, but, you know, Clem's not going to give you many of those opportunities to get back in it. Observer sees the Raven and the Viking, pulls back. He's trying to bait him into the Stalkers. He wanted to blink on it and focus the Raven down. That's actually so cute from Hero. Clem doesn't take the bait, though. Clem's probably going to float this third down here as well. Gold base has kicked in, guys. Now, keep in mind that mineral count is not accurate. There's only 6 of these patches, which means 12 workers on this base is enough. These other workers, of course, are just mining these patches out, which means the number will fix itself above the Nexus. 4 more gateways coming in. So it's going to be Sentry, Zealot, Stalker. I don't think you can afford really to do a proper tech transition as Hero with the situation you're in. And yet, as I say it, he's going to try and go for the 3-gas Colossus. I thought he might just want to play Mass Zealot here, but we'll see how he does. Observer comes into the main base and goes, where is that 3rd command center? But he doesn't see a 4th and 5th barracks either, so it doesn't necessarily look like an all-in. The tanks are still sitting at home. And as he rotates around the back of the natural, he's going to see the 4th and 5th barracks pretty late. And that should tell him, yeah, you must have a 3rd command center by now. It's medevac. Oh, Clem sees the observer. And the medevac with Marines that came home from the other side of the map actually gets used to kill that. Very cute play. Tank is there. Stalker's going to do a bit of damage to the command center. Robobay +2 attack coming in for Hero. He's down 30 supply in this game. Gets himself a couple of Marines, though. Good micro, but he stays a bit too far in the front, and he forgot charge. He forgot charge. His army moves to the front. He realizes, why are those Zealots so slow? Oh, you do not want to show him those Zealots now. Uh-oh. If Clem pushes really aggressively, this is terrible. You have to buy yourself 1.5 minutes. Oh, no. Hero with a massive mistake here in this game. Oh, that is unfortunate. Now this command center, it's a bit far to the left, could be one space to the right for slightly better mining, but both players with the temporary income of the gold minerals. Anti-armor missile goes down. It feels like those force fields don't really do anything. I think Hero has to give this base up. He's trying to fight for ground, but with slow Zealots. I mean, look at this. Clem sees the slow Zealots, and all that's going to do is encourage him to push. You're just screwed right now as Hero. Without charge, you cannot fight this. It was already a bad early game. But when you have a bad early game, you cannot afford mistakes like this. He's got too much infrastructure down here. So not only the Nexus, the mining time, the pylons, the gateways, the shield battery, all of these things going down. There is a Raven in the back door as well, guys. Raven being that annoying backdoor unit that it is. 1 Colossus with no extended thermalats. Stalker's still trying to micro as best they can. Hero's going to try and pull a rabbit out of a hat. But honestly, even if he pulls a rabbit out of a hat, I don't know if it'll be enough. I feel like he needs to pull a rabid rabbit out of a hat. We might need the one out of Monty Python and the Holy Grail. I mean, this is... Oh, he actually gets a good ambush. The tanks go down, but he just doesn't have enough meat. The Marauders click on the Colossus. They do all go down. Dude, he's actually microing so well, Hero. Oh, the Colossus gets jumped on. He actually killed a lot of stuff there. That was kind of cool, but he's just so far behind. And Clem does use the Holy Hand Grenade to finish this game off. Clem, great start off of a more conservative opening. Then I told you guys there was going to be a 6 Marine 1 mine drop. It actually hit later than expected and did more damage than I would have expected off the earlier drop. Got him in an amazing position, and then, of course, Hero forgetting charge took away any chance of him being able to recover in that game. And we are seeing an incredibly one-sided series. And don't get me wrong, it's 2-1 in Clem's favor, but Hero made Clem look like he didn't belong in the game in game 1, and now Clem's done the same back to him in the game 2 and game 3. It's 3 very quick, very brutal games, and I have to wonder, when are these guys going to get out of the knife fight in the phone booth? It feels like two guys are just insta-giving each other. They are stabbing each other, and just no defense, full offense. We'll see if it calms down in game 4. All right. Clem, dude, he's not slowing down at all. This man woke up today and chose violence. He's gone proxy barracks into a gas, into a second proxy barracks. Clem is playing around the expectation that Hero is not going to scout. But, ladies and gentlemen, what's that? What's that? I was talking a lot, and I've been trying to convince Clem in his Protoss play to try not scouting more, to try playing 19 Nexus 19 core. I think he's seen Hero doing that, playing a bit greedy, and he said, you know what? He hasn't not scouted yet. I think this is going to be the game where I think he skips scout entirely. I'm going to punish him with double proxy Marauder. It's a massively all-in build, and the moment Hero gets in and sees that there's only one gas, he'll know exactly what's happening. He comes down here, and he sees one gas. He knows what's happening. So you got to, number one, defend the high ground. Yeah, cancels the Nexus, builds a pylon, builds a second gas. Now, you can defend the Nexus, guys. We've talked about this a lot. A lot of people said, oh, how do I defend my Nexus against a one-base double proxy Marauder? And I've always said, mate, he built his buildings on your side of the map. You don't need to defend an expansion. All you need to do is not die, and then make either an Oracle or an Immortal or something and move out and kick his butt. Now, Clem sees that he's actually reacted. He knows he can't bust the main. He cancels the second tech lab and immediately backs out of the push, realizing, oh, I mean, if I just go all in, it's not going to work, so I'm just going to, oh my gosh. He doesn't even build anything else. He builds one Marauder and goes home. The respect for both players is real. Dude. Hero is like, I'm not going to be the dumb guy who tries to defend the low ground and loses because of it. And he's going to go for a counter one-base Robo all-in. Dude, that is a nasty build, because look, you're not building Marines or Marauders. Your barracks are floating all the way home. Oh, me, oh my. Clem's scouting for it, though. Clem's scouting for it. Oh, dude. If he sees this. Oh, but he's worried. He doesn't, because he's only got one Marauder. This is his only unit. If it gets caught on the outside and gets killed, he's screwed. So he's like, no, I better get behind my ramp. Better play it safe. But he doesn't see the proxy. And of course, another gateway goes down at home. This is going to be a three-gate Robo, one base all-in. Cyclone could help, but remember, it's very fragile. So does he go Immortal or Warp Prism first, guys? And it is going to be Warp Prism first. Wow. Wow. Scouting Tech Lab now. Gets to scout when Hero takes his third or fourth base. Oh, this is crazy. This is crazy. Okay, so and right now, I mean, Hero does see the Tech Lab. He thinks, oh gosh, how much did you commit? You didn't commit much at all. Clem, meanwhile, thinks, well, I just way overcommitted. You probably have an expansion now. You know, you're going to take a third probably. Whoa, that probe just got friggin' catapulted. Dude, did he just bounce off that edge and change directions? That was cool. That probe launched here, bounced off that, and then landed down there in the trees somewhere. He's going to try and force field the ramp, which is really cool if your opponent has an expansion. Unfortunately, there's no expansion. I think he's going too early. I think Hero needs to wait. He's got an Immortal on the way. He's in vision. He's just going to go for it in his face. Wow, the reactor, though. The reactor is such a high-value snipe, and he can just pick up units to break the lock on Cyclone. Really weak against the Warp Prism and its pickup ability here. Look at that. Oh, and the force fields and the choke points. Dude, the Cyclone's going to get taken out. Oh my gosh, Hero with a one-base Robo Gateway all in to counter him. This is amazing. The Marines and Marauders struggling so much against Guardian Shield, but there's a tank. Clem sieges his tank. He says, thank you very much, as he lands big shots on the Stalker Sentry, but he's also doing friendly fire to his own SCVs. The Immortal picks up on the high ground, and the Immortal says, hello, Mr. Tank. What was that you were saying? Get out of here. And Hero tying up the most all-in PvT series I have ever cast. What are we watching? All right, guys. Weibo Gaming's Hero in the bottom left side of the map, sending one of his very first probes on Talisman out the worker path. That's right, guys. There is a worker-only path. Only workers can fit through that. No other unit And he's going to immediately try and block Clem's barracks and harass the SCV. That's going to force Clem to build the barracks a little bit further back, closer to his mineral line. Oh, but no, actually, he doesn't. Still throws it down in location, does Clem. Goes to the barracks gas, and the probe going to utilize its shields. So the way the shield regen works on Protoss units, guys, in StarCraft 1, it was a constant rate. In StarCraft 2, it's 7 seconds out of combat, and then it will start to rapidly regenerate if you don't take damage for 7 seconds. So he's going to wait for that to regenerate and then start fighting again. He actually started fighting a little early, but almost gets an SCV. You can see just how annoying Hero is. So funny. Clem is French, by the way, and I remember the French commentators, even back in Heart of the Swarm, I remember talking to a few of them back in the day, and they were like, Hero's probe is the most annoying thing I've ever seen in my life. I think it might have been Funko who was saying this back in the day. And I was like, yeah, it's pretty annoying. He's like, no. I actually think other Protoss players are stupid that they don't harass as much as Clem. They're like, as much as Hero. They're like, Hero's probe is like the most tilting thing I've ever seen in any pro match. And hey man, we've heard from Hero himself. He picks his strategies based on what he thinks is going to annoy his opponent the most. He loses a lot of mining time. He slows down his gate, his cybercore, his nexus by sending this probe across so early, but he also annoys his opponent. And that's what Hero prioritizes when playing StarCraft. When the probe sneaks out the back door, Reaper can't chase you down there. Has to go around the front. So good usage of that. It is once again a 1-Rax expand for Clem. So Clem playing a little bit more standard rather than the double gas builds that he's been using more often of late. And that probe is going to hide in the top left of the map and then work its way back up into the main for a delayed scout. But I think Clem may have studied this as he's looking for it around this top side of the map. Now, I think he's going to run into it. Just don't tell me that probe barely cuts it off. Oh, if he stayed on the initial path, that probe would have gone past. Just barely would have dodged his vision. But Clem sees it, cleans it up, and says, no scouting for you, mate. Adept comes forward. Twilight Council on the way. Second Adept building. Because the Reaper was back on that side of the map, though, Hero realizes he doesn't need to chrono the second Adept. Normally, you'd chrono that in case the Reaper runs in. But he knows the Reaper's stayed a bit more defensive. It was 2 Marines before Reactor. So enough units there to take out an Adept. The Adept decides to stay home in a more defensive stance. There is a Reaper ledge, by the way, on this side. Reaper coming forward to try and go up there. Still, Starport comes in, Hellion building, Mules dropping in the main base, and of course, the Reaper. Abe Simpson's in and out of there. Doesn't want any of what that Adept's handing out. Second gateway is much earlier this time for Hero, but the Robo hasn't gone down just yet. We expect that probably about 325, 330 at the latest. And Tech Lab on the factory. There's that Robo we were talking about. Very standard build for him. Reaper's going to keep trying to poke in the main. Hellion, of course, ready to spot if the third base attempt is there. Oh, he tries to bounce it. Oh, but look, he doesn't see. He doesn't. Oh, he does. He does. He barely got vision. Just before he died, the Reaper's body slid over and he got on the walkie-talkie and said, boss, they went Twilight, with his last dying breath. So he did report that back, sacrificed himself for the greater good. 2 gateways up, third one building as well as the Robo. Ravens on the way for Clem. Clem hasn't built any siege tanks yet. We expect him to start those in a moment, being ready for the 3-gate blink pressure. Adept doesn't get inside the base. Second barracks and third barracks are building, and the first siege tank begins at 4 minutes and 10 seconds. Hero's been pretty good about pylon timing, like very pristine. What you look for, guys, is if a player gets supply blocked just as the pylon finishes, that's perfect macro. Means they didn't spend money on the pylon too early, just the right time. He actually builds a prism here. He's cut probes as Hero. He's got 2 mineral lines full, so he's like, I don't mind delaying gas. He says, as long as I get the prism out, chrono that across the map so I can get some stalker pressure going. This map doesn't have the best stalker angle. I mean, you can blink in and there's a lot of space over here, but you're not going to really breach the Great Wall of Clem. Love setting these big walls up to be rock solid. Hellion on the right, Raven on the left. Not sure if the Adept saw that. Saw the camera just look down here, so it feels to me like Hero's going to warp in Stalkers there. Intercepts the Hellion on the front. Third Nexus. It's going to go down shortly. It's not there just yet. Feels like a very committed 3-gate blink build for Hero, and yet it's not hitting that early. 2 probes for the Raven's first auto turret. Nice damage. Double bunker on the front. Lots of SCVs on auto repair. Clem is really respecting the heck out of this 3-gate blink. Observers there. Gonna blink across the gap. 2 Adepts inside the prism. You can drop those to take the tank shots. If he can run forward and blink across the wall, there's not enough Marines here for Clem. Clem needs to get his Marines back up here right now. He needs to get his Marines back up. The Observer sees everything. He's got to get those Marines back up here. The depot's going to go down. The Marines are now moving along with the Viking. But look at that. He blinks forward. 1 tank goes down. 2 tanks going down. If he can get rid of the Viking. Yep, the Viking goes down. The tank is on the outside. He could blink across and go after that siege tank. You know he will. Those tanks are like candy in front of a child. Those Stalkers cannot resist pulling those off the grocery shelves. And look at that. Stalkers trying to fight now against the Marines and the SCVs. But he has to get the Prism out of there. Picks up nice hot pickups. 14 SCVs, 3 tanks go down. The Adept's still alive. Clem just not leaving enough support in that main. And one has to question this building wall off placement. Should he have put it further forward so that he was actually shooting the Stalkers the moment they blinked in? If he did that, it'd be a very different situation because he was able to blink in, wait for blink to come off cooldown, and then run forward into tank range and start doing the damage. And that's why Clem suffered so much here. The tank goes down there as well. Another tank falling. And with the tank going down, the Stalkers just outrange everything. Yes, the Observer goes down, but who cares? Hero outranging this army, doing massive amounts of damage. The Marines come forward. The Stalker's going to blink back. Should be a relatively easy path to controlling the game for here. But he's only up 5 workers. Here it's third Nexus. Halfway done. Very late on that third. Transferring workers around a little. Going for a forge. Charge comes in behind. There aren't more Stalkers and an Immortal ready to try and bust these bunkers. Those red hit point Stalkers are going to die very quickly. Not a good move for Hero to throw those away. Prism flies into the main and gets shot down by the Stim Marines. And then he runs 2-3 Stalkers. Hero! Keep it in your pants, buddy! Oh my lord! Sorry for the backseat commentary there, guys, but Hero is just throwing units into the meat grinder right now. What is he doing? No! Hero getting way too excited in this game, and he is trying to force a situation that he does not need to force. Oh my lord! He just threw away like a Prism and 10 Stalkers and an Immortal. The units lost have 800 in favor of Clem now. Even Clem looked surprised on his camera. He's like, what's he doing? Why is he doing this? He's giving me gifts. Hero famous for making these sort of crazy attacks that other players wouldn't make. And they've won him entire tournaments before. They've also thrown away what should have been easy tournament victories before as well. It's a mixed bag with Hero. He's a very hard player to cheer for if you can't handle a high range of play, a high uncertainty rating. Because you don't know what he's going to do. He will do the best thing you've ever seen that no one else in the world will ever think of. And he'll follow it up with a move like those last 2 fights. He's still got 3 bases against the 2-base turtle player. He's still got a good setup. The Prism's going to come in. There's no Vikings. Gets himself a Marauder. Saves all Zealots. Beautiful play. Bit of mining time as well. Lost there. Gets the Marines to stim. Gotta be careful with this main base, though. Lots of room for those Marines to chase him down. 4th gas in a Robo Bay. Hero's back on the standard path now. Guys, and this is it. I mean, I just don't think he feels comfortable when he's so far ahead, so he had to just throw away a bunch of units so that he can play in a more competitive game. That's where Hero does his best work. Stalker's going to blink after the Medevac. Medevac should not be able to save these Marines. Zealot Corpse in as well. Medevac's going to technically survive in the back, but how do you ever get that home? Wow. What a turn. What a turn. Series is being crazy aggressive, but it would just be a game like this that resets into a 35-minute macro game to put us on path for a more epic series. It's already been a fight for the aggression. And I mean, for those who don't know, I think a lot of people counted Hero out at EWC. They said Hero's going to get wrecked by Clem. And then they didn't really watch the series. I know this because I've talked to a lot of fans about Hero vs. Clem. And they've said, you know, at the World Championship last year, oh my gosh, why did he change angle? He was out. He was out if he just kept going straight, but he changed direction. I think he F2'd his army to the front. Oh, another blunder for Hero there. And he does throw away a Prism with Zealots inside. If he just kept going in a straight angle, he would have outrun that Viking. They're the same movement speed, I'm rather certain. But a mistake there. Anyways, point being, that EWC series, guys, that world, it's not ping, guys. Ping does not affect you doing a dumb decision. Sorry, I shouldn't be reading Twitch chat while I'm casting. It's not ping. Never ping. Zealot counterattack is brilliant. Clem's going to shove. Clem's going to shove. Clem's not going to give him time. There's a Colossus up, though, so I think Hero can probably defend his main and natural with the Colossus. Zealot's doing massive damage there. Zealot's on the third as well. The minerals are open, which means he can get into the main base from 2 sides now. The downside of taking that gold is you mine those minerals open, and that can be an issue. The bio did cancel the 4th base here of Hero. The Nexus, it did go down, but look at that. Guardian Shield and Colossus. Oh, this is very scary. Great pullback there for Hero. He's got 13 SCV kills, cleared out the third and the natural. He's bringing Zealots back. And if he can then just warp in 1 or 2 more rounds of Zealots and jump on these tanks, he'll get it. He's not even going to wait for that warp in because he knows how vulnerable this army is. Clem does as well. Clem picks up his tanks and starts flying away. I was trying to say as we slowed down there, that it was a real knife fight for who could get momentum. When these two play, they both like attacking. Neither one really likes defending. Clem has become a much better defensive player over the last few years, but it's still not what he likes to do. He would rather be attacking. So when these two play, it's two guys who just refuse to defend. It's basically, my defense is going to be punching you in the face so hard that you have to defend. But when both players play like that, you just end up in these bizarre situations where it's an arms race to see who can have momentum. And usually that plays out with like, okay, Hero's in his face with Blink Stalkers, but Clem sneaking drops out and counter-attacking the whole time. This time, it's basically come out with both of them cheesing the heck out of each other. And interestingly, Hero committed insanely hard to the 3-gate Blink this game. Observer got scanned on the left as the 4th command center goes down. There's only a few Vikings here, and the tanks aren't really covering this natural ramp. Honestly, if Hero had a warp-in point here, I would have loved to see him actually just commit to a fight there. Zealots run in through the gold base into the main. I love that. Splits just one Zealot off, gets into the main. This is a different setup to most maps. I really think Clem should be walling off this right side and leaving a tank behind that wall or something like that, because Zealot's causing him some troubles. Zealot in the natural should beat that Marine. Minces him up. +1 armor's on the way, as well as DT. Blink Disruptor is building 70 probes for Hero against Clem's 55. Hero still has the forward position. He's got 10 gateways. He's got a 5th base started. Oh, he's going to go for it. He's going for it. The drop picked up. The drop picked up at the wrong time for Clem, maybe. But no, not able to push up a ramp into that. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Colossus goes down. Great force fields, though. Traps a lot of expensive Marauders. Not able to finish them, though, with the Vikings there, but more Zealots. DTs ran in that time. 8 probes on the 3rd. DTs in the main base as well. 9 SCVs going down. Clem is just struggling to deal with all this harassment. The Dark Templar blinks from the main to the low ground on the natural. SCV is going to try to fight it, guys. Turret goes down in the main. Another SCV as well. This army rotates. He doesn't have many Stalkers. Only 6, otherwise he could kill this command center. If that command center lands, though, the Zealots are going to kill it real quick. Clem too busy with the Dark Templar. Oh, no! He's going to lose his 4th command center. Clem is reeling. Look at his camera, guys. He's back in his chair. I feel like, wasn't Clem further forward in the frame? It's like he's pushed his chair back from the computer. There's like a body language of frustration on camera there for Clem. Stalkers blinking forward, focusing the Vikings. If he can get rid of all the Vikings, the Colossus will become amazing units. Disruptor only hits a single guy, though. More units coming in, more reinforcements. Uh-oh, has Hero gone too far? His Disruptors are all going down. His Colossus are going to go down. Oh, no, fighting with only gateway units is rough. Zealots come in from the other side. The F2 of Zealots coming in for the flank. These units trying to come in from that side as well. I love the interception. He finds himself a tank, almost gets to the deep red. And here we go. EMP does land on those Zealots. Going to try and run away. Scan does take out the Observer. Meanwhile, Hero's going to try to keep baiting stims. The Medivacs are low on healing juice right now. So he realizes, Hero does, if he can just keep making Clem stim, his units are going to die from drug addiction. And that is something that will happen when you use meth to fuel your soldiers' trigger fingers. Zealots going after the Marauders. Nice damage on that base. 4th command center only now being rebuilt. The Bio Army so damaged. Even the Zealots and Stalkers might be able to do this without damage. The Bio is Guardian Shield Stalker coming in. Zealots flanking as well. Clem's army overrun. He's going to pick up and try to fly away, but there's Stalkers taking out all of the Vikings as Clem tries to boost towards the main. And you can see the frustration on his face. These games not going the way he wanted. Wow, the momentum, man. The momentum for Hero, even in the midst of him throwing away the Prism and the Stalkers and the Immortal. Man, like, this is what I love about Hero is, like, dude, there's never a moment where playing safe even enters his mind. It's part of his secret to his success. And this is why, you know, anytime you make mistakes, they're water off a duck's back with Hero. I have seen Hero make so many individual mistakes that would send most players into Tilt Town, where Hero just smiles and goes, oh man, whoops, what a mistake. And he might look kind of stressed for a moment as he corrects the issue, but it's like he's so able to exist in the moment and just play his best StarCraft and do whatever appeals to him in the moment. It truly feels like Hero is never playing with fear. There's never FOMO. Oh, but if I do that and then I misexecute it, I might lose, and I don't want to lose without doing my best build. But you see a lot of players who play like that. They've got fear of missing out. They've got all this anxiety. Hero is an anxiety-free being. He is like a spiritual guru when it comes to the game. Arguably, though, Clem is the cleaner player, normally. But in this series, he's not finding it. And I think that last game, I really think the wall-off of his buildings was a little incorrect just due to limited experience on that map, Talisman. It's part of why we like putting different maps in. Obviously, this map, Talisman, Errorholm, and this one, Starchild, sorry, are not actually in the ladder map pool. But I think it's really good for us to rotate maps because I think we've realized waiting for Blizzard to update map pools means we're going to sometimes play with maps for like 9 months at a time, you know? Which, it just isn't that fun for StarCraft 2. But if we keep rotating the maps as tournament organizers, we get so much fun action going. And we also get more variety and more range of new strategies rather than everything being as figured out. Now, for those who don't know, Hero is famous for usually winning most TLMC tournaments. So anytime there's a new map pool being made by map makers, there's a competition to see who wins some money for designing awesome maps in the community. He usually just crushes those tournaments. You put him in weird maps where people don't know what they're doing exactly. Hero intuitively just figures things out on the fly. Does really well. So did really well with the 3-gate blink in that last game. This game, though, it's going to be Star Child. I'd say a bit more standard. No worker-only path in the main. This big wall off ledge. You know, yeah, you just build your buildings here. Pretty standard. It's not too crazy. I think he should build his buildings like down here, though. Factory, starport, and stuff to kind of nestle the tank there. It's a bit of a weird factory positioning. It is, of course, reactor first off of a double gas. So 4 Reapers? 4? Whoa! And that command center is pretty delayed because he had to mine a lot of gas to get this many Reapers. 2-minute 30 command center. He leaves 1 Reaper at home. Only wants to poke with 1 because he doesn't want to give away what he's doing. Hero, though, didn't scout this game. This is what Clem was hoping to run into when he went double proxy Marauder on Whispers of Gold. And there's a shield battery as well. He didn't see the shield battery, though, which is kind of unfortunate. Best bet with the Reapers is going to be to run past and try to kill some stuff. Look at that. Already losing a Reaper? Nope. One hit point. It's a 4 Reaper, 2 Hellion attack. It should do 0 damage. But keep in mind, Stalkers and Adepts don't do the craziest DPS, so they could run in and do something. I think that the trick here, though, is that Hero can also pick up Hellions, so it might be better if Clem doesn't commit at all, but he's already built so many units. He's going hard with the aggro here. Seeing that shield battery, he's going to feel his heart sink. He knows this is the worst case scenario when there's a shield battery already set up. 1 probe does go down. He's going to go for the probes in the main. The Hellion will add some very important splash damage, but it shoots the Adept there for a moment. He's got to make sure he keeps focus firing the probes. He gets 5 probes. That's not enough. 6 probes do go down. Gets himself a 7th one, and that is decent economic damage. Really good, some would even say. 7 workers this early? I mean, that's massive, but it's massive on its own. In context, it's not. That command center is just finished. I think it's acceptable, don't get me wrong, if he can defend the counterattacks. And he's building a Cyclone, he's building Marines, got a 2nd barracks building, Vikings out, Starport's there. I think he can defend and get to a good position from here, Ken Clem, especially with how delayed that Twilight Council is. Viking and Cyclone getting a bit of damage on these Phoenix. Hero's going to try and go out there and trade with him. Crazy move, but Clem getting intimidated and running away. Clem was so shocked by that. He did not expect that. Look at his face. He's just like, what? What crazy person is here with every single unit they have at this moment? But honestly, I think he should have stood and fought. I think Clem, you can see being a bit frustrated. You know, you can see it in the way he looks on camera. Hero is playing such a tricky style and so annoying. And now Hero's like, cool, reset, rebuild the probe count, take a 3rd. And, you know, go for Blink if you're a normal human. But if you're Hero, you go charge Phoenix here. A style which Clem is going to struggle with, especially if he feels behind and keeps building Viking Cyclone. Viking Cyclone, very bad against charge. Good against the Phoenix, very bad against the charge. What he needs is as much bio as possible. He needs stim, combat shields, and as many Marines, Marauders, and Medevacs as possible. That will scale really well versus Zealots, the bigger the armies get. But right now, he's overcommitted to the Phoenix, losing that Cyclone. I don't think it's like a game-ending thing. It's just that because he feels pressured now to build 2 more Cyclones, 3 Cyclones, 3 or 4 Vikings, it's just a bit too much of an investment. Hero's still finding damage. And what a crazy series. I did not expect this best of 7 to look this way at all. But it just really matches what Hero wants out of a series and what Clem doesn't want. Like, Clem will mix in aggressive builds, but at the end of the day, he'd like the game to be decided with multitasking, with macro and micro and swapping between them, and just very straight up skill. Hero, on the other hand, he's very skillful as well, but he would like there to be some gambles in there. Oh, nice trap for Clem, though. Very nice trap. He gets 2 of the Phoenix. That's an important catch. Charge Zealots coming forward. There's only a few so far, though. How many gateways is it? 4 gateways are up. It's only 4. You're not going to get a lot out of 4-gate Zealot. He's building Immortals as well. +1 attacks on the way. I think that was an important catch for Clem, just to get a win. I feel like psychologically, Clem, when he's winning, starts to get momentum, starts to build confidence. He plays better and better. There's always, you can see when he was losing and things kept going bad, and then another thing goes bad, you can kind of feel like the mental stack going onto his brain of, oh gosh, I'm losing. Sees the Zealots. Clem just saw the Zealots and he builds a bunker. He's like, dude, what the hell? I think he should actually just wall off the front though. I think this is a bit too conservative, because once he takes his third, he's going to want to have a wall here at the very front, not just a semi-wall. Robobay's on the way. I love that Hero went charge, shows a pack of Zealots, but he's already transitioning Colossus. I think a lot of players would be overcommitting to Mass Zealot here, looking for some sort of big all-in, and Hero's capable of that, but he's not doing it this time. Clem anticipating the shade. He's going to shut that Adept down. Clem's got a third command center. He can play a longer game. He can absolutely play a longer game. Right now, his army's strong before the Colossus are out. He gets a few Zealots. Units lost tab is in favor of the Frenchman. 4 more gateways going down. He's going to build a 9th gateway up there. +2 attack immediately. Extended Thermal Lance has begun. Clem, he's got 4 medevacs, 3 Vikings, 2 Cyclones. The Vikings from the early game are going to be a good start to his anti-Colossus firepower. Does feel like Hero's bled out a few too many units recently, and trying to maintain map presence is good, but like the core of his army doesn't seem to exist right now. He's got 2 Immortals of Colossus and a few Stalkers and Sentries, and that's it. All these Zealots going to lure Clem away. Clem's just like, dude, I am enjoying harvesting free Zealots right now. The amount of value that he's getting in this game is insane. 575 resources lost ahead. Vikings coming forward now, going to poke this position. No blink, remember. There is no blink. It hasn't even started. Hero putting his gas towards what he considers more important things. And a triple drop's going to go to the main. The Zealot sees it, though. The Zealots come back and they see it. I don't even know if that was on purpose for Hero or an accident. He didn't realize, though. He didn't realize that the army was small. Thought he was going to realize. Big drop in the main. Here we go. Remember, no blink. You can just pick up and leave at any time as Clem. He's going to stay there and try to fight the Zealots. Meanwhile, dives the third base. Oh, Hero with a positioning mistake. The Widow Mines. Oh, big Widow Mines on the Bio. The Marines gunning down the Zealots. More Bio coming in. The Widow Mines as well. The Colossus finally arrives, but it's late to the party. The Colossus counters the Marines so hard, but Hero loses 19 workers. The Bio redrops in that main base, by the way. 2 Marauders do unload there. He unloads the rest. The rest of them, if he clicks the pylon down, that's 3 gateways getting depowered. Oh, Hero's in trubs right now, man. Felt like he had a good situation in this game, a good setup, but he's starting to take the worst end of the trades. The Colossus goes down. A few Vikings do fall for it. It's not like it's a free trade by any means. But Hero trading very badly, losing too many workers. Remember, Clem has that third base up and saturated, and it feels like what happens sometimes in their series. Hero engages in the chaos, winning the chaotic situations. Clem gets thrown off. He gets a bit, spazzed out in his plane. He starts making uncharacteristic mistakes, and then he goes to what has been his go-to. Whenever Hero has him under pressure and losing, Clem plays the most generic, calm, safe, straight-up Terran, and he just stops making mistakes. And this is why he became the world champion last year. It's because he learned how to just stop making mistakes in high-pressure moments, and that's what he's been doing here. It was a tactical split into the main. He dove the third. He macroed perfectly behind it, and Hero's the one who's making those little slip-ups. Now, he does chase a little too far here, but he gets the Colossus, so it's all worth it. He's also redropped those 4 Marauders in the main. He says, oh, I'm sorry, did you want to warp in off those 3 gateways? Not today, buddy. Takes it out again. He's going to get a Zealot as well. Only +1 attack done, +1 armor about to finish here for the Terran. Meanwhile, +2 has been finished for a while for Hero. Hero does only have 1 Colossus, though. He's lost 2 Colossus this game and is 2,000 resources behind the units lost. 4th Nexus is up, but with only 51 workers. Hero just trying to hang on in this game, whilst the 2nd Engineering Bay Armory double upgrades are going to start to progress. Clem really just saying there's no need to force the issue. Take my time. Wait for him to make mistakes. I do expect a 4th command center to drop in the near future. Hero still attacking with a much worse army. It's only a small section of Clem's army, while this is almost the entirety of Protoss forces. I'd say this is about 2/3 of Clem's army. Marauder drop still being a nuisance on the other side. Meanwhile, the Widow Mines, the Bio kiting really well. Feels like these Zealots are going in piecemeal, as are the Stalkers and the Immortals. The Vikings going to take care of the Colossus. Disruptor goes forward, doesn't land on anything. Marauders on the other side clean up even more Zealots. More Zealot warpings going at home. Hero right now is bleeding into a meat grinder, and these Marauders are absolutely loving it. They do stop to attack their command center for a second. You know what they say, guys? Touch wood, right? Just a nice saying. People say, touch wood. just kind of, you know, getting ground. It's all good. If you're a Terran, it's touch commands, and a touch metal is the saying for Clem. Does like to attack his own units just to kind of ground himself, center himself. Little exercise he likes to do once in a while. And Marauders will pick up and rotate to the other base. Clem has this one in the bag. He's going to force a game 7, ladies and gentlemen. He has a double army supply lead, catches Hero's Disruptor in the open, and I don't think there's much Hero can do to get back in this one. Hero just not realizing that army split happened. I thought when the Zealots came in from behind, Hero would have noticed, but I think it was just a bit of an F2 when he went, oh, whoops, Zealots ran into your army, didn't realize half the army had picked up, and now he's fighting Zealot Stalker against a big Bio Force. The Vikings not really able to help too much here. Clem kind of F2ing his army to the front as well in the chaos of this game, but it's exactly what he needs to do because he's got Hero in that one-track, one-directional mind. This time it's Hero's chance to look a little frustrated. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's game 7 and Team Liquid's Clem in the top right side of the map fighting back in that previous game from not a super bad position, but definitely, you know, I don't think it was ideal, and that Cyclone getting picked off and whatnot definitely felt a little awkward for him, but he really started to get stuff together after that. Hero in the bottom left side of the map. This is a good Protoss map, right? Says Twitch chat. I have no idea. Do we consider this a good Protoss map, guys? I feel like the fact that it's being played in game 7 means it's the most balanced map of them all. Generally, when you've got pro players playing a series, they're going to pick their best maps first. So, you know, as the series goes on, you're going to get more and more to the maps that the players are kind of indifferent about. They go, it's kind of balanced. It's not really good for him. It's not really good for me either. Leyline's a very, very good map, I think, for Protoss late game against Zerg. I don't think the Tempest thing really happens much against Terran, though. Very rare you get to that point. So, ooh. Clem being greedy, not pulling an extra SCV. Dude, you got to respect it. Yeah, now he pulls the extra SCV. Okay. This is like a thing where Terran players are notorious for not respecting the worker harass, but this time he actually does. He repairs the SCV as well, so it can't just get killed. Tempting to pull more SCVs to attack that, but Reaper's now on the way. Nexus goes down 136 after Cybercore. And we're just going to circle around, let his shields regen a bit more, and then he's going to go after these low hit point guys. Notice the way he goes in the mineral line? And now he even just does the old classic worker harass. And the question is, does he recall? So he goes to the Fog of War, and you don't know if he's recalled or not. So you're going to have to rally your Reaper up there and check for it. He does save that probe. I think it's very worth recalling the probe because you can immediately start mining. I remember a lot of people were trying to argue that spending the 50 energy chrono boosting a probe is actually better. Once again, proving that people basically just don't know how to do math in the StarCraft scene. I'm like, this is really basic, guys. Like, do you want a probe for free that you don't have to spend 50 minerals on that can instantly start mining? Or do you want to take 10 seconds of build time away from your next probes that you have to pay for and are going to take time before they pop out and start mining? There were so many guys who argued with me about this for like months, and I was like, this is crazier than the guy who insisted that Overlord scouting costs 200 minerals, because if you lose the Overlord, you have to build another one to replace it. So it doesn't cost 100 minerals, it costs 200 minerals to scout with an Overlord. I was like, what are you talking about? Shout out to my boy Satu from Adelaide. I miss you, bro. I hope you're still out there watching somewhere. Twilight Council battery, extra gateways coming in. Yeah, yes. The Aussies in the chat are like, wait, Satu said that? It was like an ancient SC2C thread. Really funny. Go if someone can look it up, we'll look at it after the game. This is game 7 though. Let's talk about the builds. Medevac's on the way. Cyclone. Guys, is he gonna commit to the tank push? This looks like Cyclone into tank. No, I think it's just gonna be Cyclone, Medevac, Marine pressure. You wouldn't build a second Cyclone or a tank after this, I don't think. Medevac comes out. Yeah, wouldn't mind Marine even. And the Adept sees it leaving, which means he should dive in and just go for the workers. Pick off some SCVs here. Warp in Stalkers at home. Great move so far for Hero to take advantage of this early drop. Gets inside as well. Oh, that's annoying. Cyclone's going to come out and shut it down. But look at that. One SCV falls. The other yellow hit point SCV running away. Genius. Really good micro by Clem there. Fantastic. Does lose the second SCV, though. Wow, Hero barely got that last hit off. Nicely done. Stalker's here to intercept. Good damage on this. But the Stalkers being close to the Widow Mine does really hurt. These probes not running away. A little greedy for Hero here. Very greedy, in fact. He might just want to sacrifice the Stalker to get rid of this. It might be worth. I think in this situation, it's worth sacrificing a Stalker. Just run up and try to drag the friendly fire. He's going to use the Observer to try and focus the mine down, but 6 probes. Amazing damage, and this is something Clem way too consistently is finding that damage. With no third base started yet, you do not like that. 3-gate blink, he's going to try to drop a third, but look at this. Oh, this Reaper's going to tilt Hero. Watch his camera. Watch his camera, guys. Oh, but he gets it down. He gets it down. Okay, it doesn't get blocked. Okay, that's good. That's good. That's actually, that would have been so annoying because you're already behind after losing those workers. If your third gets blocked by another 30, 40 second delay, that's a nightmare. But he forces the auto turret out. Hero diving like a mad dog, as he's wont to do. Second lock on, not even getting a single tick off before it goes down. Clem had time to adjust his hair, apparently. Raven Cyclone. What can I say, guys? I cheer for both players evenly. I kind of wanted Hero to get a few things going his way. I think that drop did too much damage. He's got to have the next few minutes go a bit more clean for him. Keep in mind, Stim and Shields are only now going to be starting about 5:45, 6 minutes. Stim started, but a little while till Shields does. Engineering Bay in the back. So Clem's got to just turtle now for a bit. Chill out. He's got that on that side. He's still got the Reaper on the right. Can maybe run in and get a probe, but Stalkers are there. Hero going for the Forge. Probing more or less non-stop as he builds 2 more gateways. 3 more even. 6 gates it is. Reaper goes down. Clem glances at the medevac. He sees the Stalkers watching it, and he says, yep, let's not go in there. And Hero says, all right, let's just move these Stalkers back. The Observer's watching. Let's try and bait him to coming in so we can deal with this. You do not want to blink in there. Oh, well. Luckily, the Observer doesn't take the Cyclone lock on, so the Stalkers pick off a Marine. Not bad. And he's going to go Robo Bay. He's not committing to Stalker Prism, guys. It's just 10 Stalkers, most of which are defensive. Only 5 on this side of the map. Third command center goes down for Clem. 49 workers against the 54 of Protoss. That third mineral line, giving him the advantage. Medevac pokes in, sees the Stalkers, and immediately goes back. Just 3 Marines and a Widow Mine. The very damaged Medevac. For those who don't know, the saga of Clem, Saga has had some of the best control, the best micro, the best speed in the entire world since about 5, maybe 6 years ago, 2018, 2019. But it's only in the last few years that he developed discipline. You might think that sounds like a bit of a contrived point I'm making up, commentator trying to tell stories. But if you look at Clem, 2022 and before, he was constantly selecting all army. There is no way this medevac would have stayed here this long without accidentally flying into Stalkers. But he's built really good habits around his control groups. He's very disciplined. And look at this flank. The Stalkers blink back, but the bio, he goes in the wrong direction. He thought they blinked north. Oh, Clem, he thought they blinked in the other direction. The thing is, Hero still doesn't know that spot, that bio's there. He still might catch them. Oh, Clem, it was a genius idea unloading this drop on the other side. He does catch him a little bit, but blinks away. Should only lose 1 or 2 Stalkers, and that bio's already done double stims, which means the medevac's using up a lot of their healing juice. Stalkers turn to fight for a second. They do get a Marine for those 2 Stalkers. He's got an Immortal and a Colossus coming. Leaves his 2 Stalkers on the edge. Good split here for Hero. 136 out of 149 for Clem. Only 124 supply for Hero. He's got to pull back. Hero just standing in his face. Hero not watching. Okay, he only loses 1 Stalker. That could have been worse. That was just very dangerous. And Clem, I think, realizing, dude, I can't push through Colossus, especially with charge kicking in. I got to get out of here. So he runs home. I think that's the right call. One thing you're going to notice with Clem is that he notoriously is late usually on his Viking production. This game, though, 7 medevacs. Where is the Viking production? I feel like that's a priority for any other Terran right now. And yet that starport is idling, and he's just queuing up SCVs, depots, Marines, Marauders. SCVs, depots, Marines, Marauders. And those are the fundamental units that tend to win you games, but only 1 Viking starting. There we go. Finally. Double Viking producing. But there's already 2 Colossus and a Warp Prism out. 3rd Colossus could start at any moment. He's just going to go 2 Colossus into Immortals, actually. 4th base up north is wide open. Not the best map control in this game here for Hero. He's going to give that 4th base up. They go for a Zealot counterattack. Does Clem have enough to deal with that? +1 armor coming in for Hero. Interesting that Hero's gone armor so early. Normally he rushes +2 every game. Only single Forge. Gives up his 4th base. Zealots roll in, but don't find much. There is a Widow Mine in the mineral line. Marauders will tag 2 of these Zealots and take them out. The whole army's coming home. Uh-oh. Oh, Cyclone is not a good kill. Not a high value kill. And yeah, he's got to just fight because the Marauders were kiting him. Oh, man. It's a lot of Zealots. Hero, it feels like he's stalling out right now. He's kind of just like, okay, he's making some Immortals. He's making some Archons, but Ghost Academy is late. Archons are going to be very useful for the next few minutes. It looks like he's just going for it. Only 2 Colossus, though. Surprising he didn't build a third. Nice engage to start things off there for Hero. If Hero can just keep Zealot counterattacking, I think this will be really good. Or flanking on this army. Ooh, drop tries to split off to the left. Zealots do see the drop split off. He's ambushing the army. The tanks aren't sieged. The Stalkers blink forward. They take a big Widow Mine. The Warp Prism trying to drop Archons on top of this army as well. The tanks get absolutely trounced. Hero blitzing through this force. Stalker's trying to take out the Medivacs, but he's going to get counter-dropped. Is there recall energy? Yes, there is. He's got a recall right now. If he recalls right now, I think Hero can stop this. But he's going to chase the army instead. Hero says the best defense is a good offense. I'm just going to keep attacking. I don't even know if he notices this happening. He is YOLOing on top of Clem's army right now, trying to chase him down. It's a desperate move for Hero because his economy is dying. But Clem's struggling to hold against all this splash damage. The SCVs need to get out of there. They're going to get evaporated by the Colossus and the Archons. The supply's way ahead for Clem, but Clem doesn't have a great answer to the Colossus just yet. Those Vikings, if they can get them. The Vikings, can they get rid of the Colossus? He picks up the wrong Colossus. Hero with a misclick there, and the Stalkers are not dealing with the Vikings. The Prism goes down. The Zealot Warpin gets stopped. Clem with a clutch snipe. The Colossus gonna get chased down by the Marauders as well. Yes, he loses a lot of SCVs, but there is zero answer on Hero's side of the map. Clem with the drop splitting off from the army. What a hectic series this has been. A knife fight in a phone booth. Both players bleeding from so many wounds. So much exhaustion on their faces and frustration there for Hero. This game, that drop splitting off. I mean, the drop splitting off and just evaporating him on Star Gazes, I think it is. Starchild, sorry, as well. It's tragic because it really felt like he was in an okay spot in both games. But even in this game, losing that 4th base up north was problematic. The early drop gave him so much damage as well, right? So many probes were going down to these early Marine Medevac mine drops. The Medevac Marine mine drops that Clem's been doing for the last few weeks. Just so hard to stop. He finds success again. And, you know it's been an epic series when both players look defeated. Like, Clem doesn't even look excited. He just looks stressed out. He's like, oh my god, I need a cigarette, dude. What the hell just happened? That was intense.